figured since this video will pretty much be it will be purely whispered, I figured a lot of you would like that. So I'm just gonna go in, I think it's in the order of newest comment to oldest. I am not gonna promise that I'm gonna get to every single one because I don't want to be here for 2 hours or 3 hours. There are quite a bit of questions, but I also have a feeling that a lot of them are going to be repeats, so hopefully your question still gets answered anyway. If I don't answer it, it's not on purpose, but I have a feeling I'm going to get through the majority of them, so let me stop talking and we'll just get started, okay? So the first one is, how do you manage to stay so positive when the world seems to run on negativity? I admire your constant optimism. Thank you, I appreciate that. The world does seem to run on negativity lately. Honestly, I stay positive because, well, you have to first focus on yourself, do the things that you need to do, get yourself on track, because once you're on track, then you can go and you can help others and you can, do whatever. But I think it starts within yourself, if that makes sense. There's a lot of more complicated things I could go into as well. I could talk about my religion as well. That helps, my faith, my prayer life, if I'm being honest. But I think, yeah, it really starts within yourself, and then once that positivity is within you, then you can spread it elsewhere. The next one is, what is your real name? I forget that you guys don't know this, or a lot of you. My real name is Samantha, but everyone calls me Sam. Pretty much everybody. So, what is your favorite Pokemon? I don't know anything about Pokemon, but I do know Pikachu is cute, so we'll just go with that. Are you willing to talk about financial stuff, money people can make with YouTube and whatnot, saving up, budgeting, etc.? I mean, I'm willing to talk about it. I feel like that would be a whole other separate video. I know ASMR X Babe, as I'm sure she's done a video about something like that. She likes to talk about real topics and stuff, which I really like. So she's talked about, I think, what you can make on YouTube. I'm willing to talk about it. I think I would just need specific questions from you guys. I know my number one financial thing that I'm trying to implement for myself is to just not be in debt, and so that's why I am so buckled down. Have not gotten my own apartment yet because I'm trying to get myself out of my student loans, and then also paying off my car, because debt really does chain you down. So that would be one tip. And then as far as what people can make on YouTube, it all depends. It depends on how many views you get. It depends on, well, it's mostly the views, but it also kind of counts your subscriber count, but it's mostly just ad revenue. And by that I mean how many people click on your videos. So again, that could be a whole separate video. If you want me to maybe make a separate video about that, I can do that. You just have to let me know. If you weren't in the television industry, what alternative career path would you have wanted to take? Before I studied television in college, I actually studied psychology, so I think I would have done some sort of counseling. I don't know what kind, but definitely would have continued with psychology and mentoring, either probably kids or family counseling or something like that. Probably. Who is the serial killer that made you the most uncomfortable? His crime story or his personality, etc. What's his name? Is his name Albert Fish? I didn't cover him, but he's the one that makes me the most uncomfortable. I think that's his name, the one that he was a cannibal too. And I've gotten so many requests to cover him, and I can't bring myself to do it. differences in political views with your friends and family. I wouldn't say strong, but we definitely do try to have those like uncomfortable discussions. With my friends too. As we get older, we're more comfortable doing that, I guess. But I wouldn't say strong differences. My favorite sitcom is probably Friends. What is a question you don't like to be asked? Why aren't you dating? Or why aren't you in a relationship? That's what I mean. What is my favorite dipping sauce? Probably ranch. How do you manage to maintain so many long-term friendships with such a busy schedule? Did you ever have a toxic friend or had to cut ties with people? Yes. Okay, so I have I have different circles of friendships. So I have my one group of girlfriends who we've been together since like 4th grade. And we're the type, like, I feel like a true best of friends. Time can go by, like, you don't have to talk every day, you don't have to see each other every day in order to be best friends, like, with them. So much time can go by, and yet every time we get together, it's like no time has passed at all. Like, those are like my sisters, like, they're like family. So yeah, even though we're busy, like, one of them lives in Miami, you know, she's not close to me, and yet every time we get together, it's like no time passes. And that's why we have FaceTime and group chats and stuff like that. And the same goes for all my other groups of friends too. I have groups of friends from church who have been friends with us since I was 14. Same thing. My friends from college, same thing. So I think technology also makes it a lot easier, you know. And yes, I have had one toxic friend comes to mind that I had in college. He was pretty bad. He was the type that thrived off of gossip and talking about people behind their backs, and just like he thrived off of it. So that was one person that it was definitely necessary to cut ties with him for sure. And my friend group is a lot better off. So, you know, you have to learn to recognize when, you know, someone has ran their course in your life. Not everyone is meant to stay in your life forever. And it was time for him to go. And we were much better off. The next one is, would you like to come to Italy? Oh my goodness. That's like my top place to go right now. My dad and I were supposed to go for my graduation, my college graduation, which was 2 years ago. But then my grandma got sick, so we didn't go. And now obviously we can't go, and then I'm working full time, and so it's hard for me to take off, because he always says if we're gonna go, we need to go for more than a week. And I'm like, well, I don't know how much vacation time you think I get, because he's a teacher, so he, for the most part during the summer, like, he can do whatever in July and August, you know. So it's just about finding the time to go. But I have so much family there, a lot of them that I've never met, and so we would kind of just bounce around from like house to house, and just like rent a car and just go. So one day, yes, it's gonna happen. We just have to really plan it out, and of course now is not really the best time to do that, but for sure, one day, for sure. The next one just says going through a breakup. So I'm assuming that means like advice on going through a breakup. They suck. And I think, you know, it's hard, but a lot of it comes down to, you know, knowing your worth. So if it's someone that broke up with you, of course that's like one of the worst feelings, when someone doesn't want you the way you want them. But you also have to remember that you should not, no one should settle for less than they deserve. Settle for someone who doesn't know your worth. So if he or she doesn't know how amazing you are and doesn't want to fight to keep you, you shouldn't want them anyway. Easier said than done, but that's the truth. And if it's someone that you broke up with, then that probably means that you knew that, again, they had run their course in your life, and sometimes it's just time to go separate ways, you know, especially when you're young. We grow at different speeds and in different directions, and it just happens. I also think that out of sight, out of mind is a lot, it's very helpful, here. So if you want to block their stories or just unfollow them on social media in general, so you don't have to see them, I don't think it's mean or rude. I think a lot of times it's very necessary. That's another video that could like be its own video, that topic. Your favorite Bible quote that helps when it gets hard. Someone just asked me this on my Instagram live stream that I did a couple minutes ago before I started filming this. And I said Isaiah 41:13, which basically, I'm gonna paraphrase it, but it basically says, do not be afraid, because God goes before you and he takes hold of your right hand and goes before you. That's what it is. And that just always made me feel really safe. Like when I first started my job way back then, like 3 years ago, when I was when I started the TV industry, I was terrified because I had no idea what I was doing and everything was scary and new, and live TV is terrifying, and or it can be. And that was the scripture that really got me through it. And I always just like visualized me walking into work with him walking in front of me holding my hand. It sounds stupid, but that scripture got me through a lot. How old were you when you discovered ASMR? I started feeling ASMR when I was 4 or 5 maybe, but I discovered that ASMR was a thing, or like the whisper community, when I was 12. That's half my life ago. I just realized. That's crazy. I think I was 12, maybe 13, I don't know. Let's see. This may seem different from everyone else's, but what was your dream job when you were younger or like a teenager? What careers did you think are the most well-paying yet fun? Oh, I don't know about that. But some of my career options, when I was really little, I wanted to be a veterinarian because I loved animals, and also my best friend wanted to be a vet at the time, so of course I wanted to be a vet too. Throughout like middle school and most of high school, honestly, I had no idea. I literally had no idea, and I hated when people would ask me, well, what are your interests? What do you want to do? And I was like, I don't know. And so I went into college, like I said, as a psychology major, so like counseling and stuff like that. But those were really the only options. I didn't have a lot. Okay, the next one. What is your workout routine? It varies. Usually for the first 30-40 minutes, I do 3 to 4, usually 4 MadFit videos. I have my favorite ones, but I kind of just pick and choose and put them in whatever order I want. MadFit is a channel here on YouTube. I highly recommend her. She's amazing. She will kick your butt. So I do that. Then I will usually walk uphill, kind of like a not really a run, but like a speedy walk uphill for 15 minutes. Usually do like a mile, almost a mile. And then I do a lot. Then I do 10 minutes of abs, and then I do like 15 minutes of arms, and that all usually takes me like an hour and 10 minutes. And I do that. I do that 5 days a week, and then on the 6th day, I'll just walk for 2 miles, and then do like 10-minute abs, and then on the 7th day, I rest. So it's a lot of things, but it's like a lot of smaller things all together. I don't know. It's what works for me. How are you feeling now after testing positive for COVID? Did you have symptoms at the time? So if you don't know, I tested positive. Me and my mom tested positive for COVID in April. And we did our 2.5 weeks. Well, it's 2 weeks, but we were actually home for 2.5 weeks and did our quarantine, and we're fine. I, for the most part, was pretty asymptomatic. I just felt very tired. I only had a fever for like 1 day, but I for the most part was pretty asymptomatic. My mom felt it worse than me. They actually gave her an inhaler because she had a very heavy chest and it was harder for her to breathe sometimes, but we're fine now. I feel totally normal, totally fine. I'm actually the healthiest I've been in a long time right now. So, thank you for asking though. Would you like to do YouTube full time? Oh, just say as of right now, I do not make enough money off of YouTube to do full-time. But I have thought about it because my friends have also asked me the same question. And to be honest with you, I don't know. I don't think so. I like being able to go out in the world and like have actual coworkers to work with and to socialize with every day. Because, every other week I work from home because we alternate now with everything going on. And at the end of that week, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go back and like see people, Also, I don't know how stable YouTube is because, first of all, people get canceled all the time, which I hate cancel culture, but it happens. And also, like, you can do really well one month and make a lot of money, and then the next month your views could drop, and it happens, So I don't know how stable it is. I also don't understand how it really sets you up for like retirement, unless you like put money away for your retirement, and that's different. But you know what I mean by that, like do it yourself, not like through your job. I don't know. I don't think I would. I think I would always want to work. Plus, I think having like a side hustle on top of a job is really cool. If you have like millions and millions of subscribers, that's different. But I don't think I'll ever get there. So, yeah, probably not. My favorite movie depends on the mood. If it's a comedy, I can watch She's the Man all day, every day. It's with Amanda Bynes and Channing Tatum from like the early 2000s. Oh my gosh, such a good movie. If it's like a sappy romance movie, A Walk to Remember, always. If it's like an action one, oh, there's so many action movies, I don't even know. I do like the James Bond movies, believe it or not. So it depends on my mood, but those are like a few of my favorites. If you could choose only one high-end makeup brand and only one drugstore makeup brand, which would you choose? Drugstore, probably Maybelline. High-end Tarte, maybe. Most of my makeup is drugstore, except for like my eyeshadows. But maybe Tarte. I like their concealer, so I would go with Tarte. I've never used their foundation though. What's been your favorite thing that's happened to you as a result of starting your channel? Probably seeing my confidence grow as a person when I was younger, all the way up to even in college. I was very insecure about a lot of things. You could even say like timid sometimes. And I guess just being more comfortable with like looking at myself on camera and looking at myself when I edit, and just, I don't know, just becoming more comfortable. And then you guys like leave me such nice comments that I think it's just helped my confidence and like allowed me to be more comfortable with myself. So yeah. What has been your go-to show that you can't stop watching? I am a weird person and I don't rewatch shows like some people do. However, if Friends was still on Netflix, I would definitely rewatch it right now. I was very late to the Friends game. I finished it like right before they took it off Netflix. But I would definitely watch it again if it was on Netflix. Do you plan on having kids someday? And if so, how many? Would you prefer a boy or a girl, or it doesn't matter? Yes, I would love to have kids one day. I hope I'm lucky enough to have kids one day, if that's in the plan for me. I would like definitely more than one. I was an only child up until I was 10 when my half-sister was born, but even then I never lived with her, so it always kind of felt like I knew I wasn't an only child, but in my mother's house I kind of was, because I was her only kid. And it's very lonely, so I wouldn't want that for my kids. I would say 2 or 3, maybe 4. That's probably it. And as far as a boy or a girl, doesn't really matter to me. I always think like saying like, oh, I hope it's a boy. If it's a girl, like, what, then you're gonna be disappointed, like, I don't know. But I would say I would like a boy first, and then the other ones just whatever. Just 'cause I always kind of wanted like a big brother. I don't know, like I feel like big brothers can be very protective of like the younger girls and stuff. where you are in your life, because I know 21-year-olds when I was 21 that were already living on their own apartment, and I was still at home, you know, freelancing with not too many responsibilities, if I'm being honest. I didn't start to feel like a real adult, honestly, until like the last year, where you know, I'm working full time, I'm paying bills, paying off my loans, I bought my car, working on getting my own apartment within the next year. And don't get me wrong, I don't want you guys to think that I still live at home with my family, but I don't live here for free. Like I do pay to live here, but of course it's not nearly like I'm paying rent with utilities and a parking spot and all that I would have to pay, or that I will have to pay when I have an apartment. But I do pay to live here. So yeah, it just depends on like your responsibilities, I think, and how independent you are. Like I live here, but I still, for the most part, buy my own groceries and all that. You know, my mom doesn't need to be buying me food for me to take to work, and you know, no. Especially now that I've like changed my diet up completely and I eat healthier, like I gotta, of course, buy my own stuff. So yeah. Which one is heavier, a pound of bricks or a pound of feathers? They're both a pound, so they're the same. I'm skipping a few just because I've answered them already, like favorite movie, etc., etc. Who are your top favorite underrated ASMR artists? ASMR Majestic. Oh, is it? I'm gonna get it wrong. Is it Relax with Rachel? Something like that. I've spoken about her on my channel before. I really like her. I like Rachel Sparks ASMR. Yeah, I'd say those are my top 3. I actually tend to really like smaller channels, if I'm being 100% honest. What degree did you get, and what's the career path of your position? So I got my degree in film and television with a concentration in television and a minor in communication and culture. I'm surprised I remember that word for word. Proud of myself. And the career path of my decision, I guess, like, how did I get to where I am now? Honestly, it started with an internship. I was an intern the summer that I was 20, turning 21, at the station I work at now. And then when I had about a week left of my internship, one of my bosses was like, so do you want a job? And I was like, yes. So they allowed me to freelance while I was a senior in college. So I would go to class 3 days a week, and then I would go to the station and work twice a week. There were also many days when I was first starting that I would be at the station at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I would train, and then I would be at school by noon and go to class if I had afternoon classes. So I busted my butt. I did. And I freelanced and was patient for a little over 2.5 years, and then I finally became full-time this past February. So I've been very, very blessed. Doors have just opened for me at this station, and I feel very, very lucky. And I feel very lucky to start when I did at such a young age. It's very rare that you meet 21-year-olds who they allow to direct television, and I don't mean that in an arrogant way. I just, like, it still blows my mind sometimes, like, how blessed I've been. So, yeah. Relationship status. I am single. Would you do any more chapter book readings? Yeah, I don't see why not. I just have no idea what book I would do. My comfort or go-to show, again, probably be Friends, like I said before. Yeah, Friends. What is your favorite season and why? Or your favorite holiday and why? Favorite season: fall, cozy sweaters, flannels, leaves falling, boots, pumpkin picking, apple picking. Need I say more? It is the most, like, aesthetically pleasing season. And my favorite holiday is probably Christmas. And why? What is that sound? Oh, it's a plane. Sorry. and we do like Christmas present games, like White Elephant and stuff like that. It's just like a happy time. Well, I'm lucky that for my family and I, it's a happy time. What does my dream life look like? I'm simple. I've always said I don't need to be a millionaire. I don't need, anything like that. But I would love to have a husband, happy children, and a house that we love and make our home. And I'd like a doggy. And I would still like to be working in the television industry and hopefully still making YouTube videos. But as cheesy as it sounds, like, just be happy and raise a happy family. That's literally my dream life. Relationship advice. What would you do in a case where someone broke up with you but then came crawling back to you to get back with you? Alright, my initial reaction is just to say no, drop them. That sounds very aggressive, drop them. I don't mean it in an aggressive way, but if someone, like I said before earlier in this video, if someone doesn't know your worth and can't recognize it right away, that's not somebody that you want. You want somebody who is going to want to fight to be with you, and you should do the same with them, It should be that kind of relationship. I do think people make mistakes. Not everyone is perfect, and I do believe in second chances, but it depends. I don't know. My initial reaction would just to move on from that person. Sometimes people they leave because they think the grass is greener on the other side, and they see something or they think they want something else. You know what? The grass is greener on the other side. No, the grass is green where you water it. Oh, that was good. Okay, anyway, I hope that helped. Have there ever been any videos that you've made in the past that you feel embarrassed of now? Probably all my role plays. I kept most of them up just because I know that a lot of people really like them. I am not fans of them. I have not watched them in years, nor do I plan to. And also probably the unintelligible whispering videos. They're very, unless you like that type of thing, they're very interesting to watch. But you know what? Whatever. What plans did you have for this year pre-COVID? Not really this year, but early next year in January, my friend and I were going to go to Iceland, and I don't think that's going to happen. It probably could happen, but it wouldn't be the same, and I wouldn't feel 100% comfortable, so it might have to be a 2022 kind of thing, which is really sad. But would you ever do a collab with ASMR X Babe? We have collabed last February or March, I want to say. We asked each other questions, and we did the no mirror makeup challenge. So we have collabed. Maybe we'll do another one. I don't know. Sorry, I keep touching my hair. This is my first time straightening it in over a month, and I'm just obsessed with how smooth it is. Sorry. What college did you attend, or what state was it in? If you don't feel comfortable sharing the name, I went to college in New York. I'll say that. You seem to have a beautiful group of friends, and as someone that has been struggling to find friends, especially girlfriends, since I'm a girl as well, do you have any advice on how to approach people or realize that they would be a great and valuable friend? Well, great and valuable friends are people that are happy when you succeed, and that, don't always try to one-up you, just want you to be the best you can be, and who support you. I'm gonna be very honest, I'm not the best person at approaching people, and I made a video about this on my Patreon, actually. I would say I'm an introverted extrovert, and yes, that makes sense if you really think about it. So I am not the first to go and put myself in a conversation or be like, biggest advice when it comes to making friends is to be yourself, because if you're putting on a show of what you think you should be like, you're not gonna get friends that like you for you, and then there are problems that are gonna come along down the road, and you're always gonna feel like you have to have that facade on to be their friend. And there's nothing better than having friends that you could just be yourself with, be your goofy, weird self, and have them love you anyway. So, how do you manage work, research / upload videos, and according to your Instagram, maintain a social life? You're like a superhero, yet I've never seen you in a cape. That's very nice. I promise you I'm not. And it's really not that hard. I mean, I do work full time, but I do have downtime, you know, so I can do my true crime research before I go to bed, or sometimes I do it on my lunch break at work. Or those mornings where I get to work at 5 o'clock in the morning and I have a good 45 minutes of not really having much to do, and I have the director's office to myself because there's no one else there at that time. I'll do it at work. And then, you know, I see friends when I can on my time off. I am always busy. I am always doing something. But it's important to also know when you need that time for you. Just to decompress, watch Netflix, you know, bake a dessert that you've wanted to try, whatever it is. Yeah, and then once you do it for so long, you kind of, like, you become set in your ways, you know, and you can't picture living your life any differently, I guess. The next one simply just says, how was your day? My day's good. It's only 2 o'clock in the afternoon right now. I filmed one video before this, but you're gonna see it after this one. And then I went live on my Instagram. It's just soft ASMR if you don't follow me. I went live on there for about 20 minutes and hung out with you guys. And then I came up here, started filming this. After this, I'm gonna go to the supermarket, do my grocery shopping, come home, work out. And then the rest of the day is just my day to edit and watch Netflix. One of my shows is on tonight, so chillin'. Do you speak any other languages? I understand Italian. Since my grandmother passed away, I don't really hear it as much as I used to. Because my family really has no reason to really speak it to each other anymore. But I still understand it. I studied it for 6 or 7 years. Spanish, I can, again, understand a very little bit, a lot less than Italian. But like, my relatives on my dad's side all speak Italian. My relatives all on my mom's side, minus my cousins and I, speak Spanish, but it was just never fully like taught to us. So, what is the worst pickup line you've ever heard? Nice face, let's go to dinner. I wish I was joking. Who's your favorite football team? I don't have a favorite, but I do really like watching football. Why are sloths so incredibly slow? They have long, strong arms, yet they barely move. What's up with that? God was like, I'm gonna make this animal, and they're gonna move really slow and sleep 20 hours a day, or whatever it is. It's something crazy like that. I don't know. How come you chose the name Soft ASMR? Honestly, there was a channel way back in the day. Her name was Gentle ASMR. And I watched her all the time before I made my channel. And honestly, I will admit it, I kind of copied off that and just changed the first word. And I picked Soft ASMR. I don't know where the soft came from, I really don't. But she was the inspiration behind that. Honestly, she doesn't make videos anymore, but yeah. What true crime video have you done that was the most interesting? Probably John Wayne Gacy, or was it Daniel LaPlante or something, the creepy guy that dressed in the girl's mother's clothing and was waiting for them in their room when they got home. Yeah, that one haunted me for a while. Favorite way to spend the night with friends? If we're not like going out, ice cream, pajamas, and a Netflix movie. One of my favorite things. What is my dream job? award show, like the Grammys or something, but you have to like be in the union for that, and I still am unsure of how to actually get into the union, and I'm way too young to even be thinking about that, because all those directors are like in their 50s, so I have a while for that, but I think I could do it, and I think that it would be so much freaking fun. So yeah. If you could live anywhere on this planet and take your family and loved ones with you as well, where would you choose to live? I love that, because I've thought about, like, I've looked at jobs in California and stuff, but I just couldn't leave my friends and family. I'm just not the type that could do it, I don't think. And I always said, like, I wish I could just pick up everybody and bring them with me. So if I could do that in the country, probably California. I don't know where in California, but probably California. In the world, I haven't seen enough of the world to know. Maybe somewhere in Europe. Will you and your friend Kathy be interested in doing more makeup ASMR videos together? I know you guys really like that video. I would love to. She's just been really busy lately, but I saw her not that long ago, and I'm sure she would be down. Probably just have to give her a little time before we do that. This just keeps getting so bright, in my opinion, and it's bothering me. It's too dark now, I think. Okay, anyway. What is my worst fear? One of them, like a deep one, probably like being old and like not having a family, like just being alone. Yeah. What are you most looking forward to when normal life resumes? Going out to eat. I miss restaurants. I know you can kind of do that now, but it's just, I don't know. I'm like waiting a little bit before I actually start to venture and do that kind of stuff. What's your favorite way to pass time when at home? Probably either editing or watching my shows. I'm not gonna say working out, even though I do work out at home, but I mean, I do enjoy my workouts because I've found things that I really like to do, but I'm not gonna be that person and say workout, so I'm gonna say Netflix or editing. Okay, there are a couple of people, or a couple of repeats rather. Why don't you do ASMR role plays? I have a few from years ago, but I just don't feel comfortable doing them anymore, and I also don't watch them myself, so I don't know. It's just, I don't have anything against them. I think some people get so amazingly creative and they deserve all the views they're getting and all the love they're getting. Me personally, it's just not me. I think there are so many different styles to ASMR, and I just make ASMR videos that I personally would like to watch myself. So, how do you feel about ASMR collaborations? Do you plan to do any in the future? I've done a few. I've done, like I said, ASMR XB, but I've done ASMR 𝓢𝓸, and there might be one or two more coming. There's been talks about it, but I haven't actually started planning them yet. I think they're fun, and they're a great way to build relationships, for me, with other channels. I feel like, at least in my experience, they don't get as many views for some reason, which I think is weird, because I always love watching collabs myself. But I think they're fun and something different. So yeah, probably more in the future for sure. Any tips for Bible studying, and what books would you recommend? As far as books, I'm not really sure. I don't really read like Christian books necessarily, but as far as like Bible studying, well, I guess for books you can say like a devotional, and you don't even have to buy them. You can literally just Google like daily Christian devotional, and there'll be so many sites, and you just read one a day. And then as far as studying the Bible, you can either Google verses for whatever you're feeling. So if you are dealing with sadness or depression or anxiety, you can Google verses that deal with those things, and then that will bring you to where everything is so readily available and it's free. You can Google, you know, a yearly like Bible reading plan, and it'll tell you what to read every single day, and it'll tell you how much to read, and it puts you on a schedule. It's all out there. It is all out there. But yeah, maybe start with that, like things that you're feeling, and then just Google it. Honestly, my answer to everything is just Google it. I promise you it's there. What is one film/series you wish you could watch for the first time again? I would like to watch the Twilight series now for the first time at my current age, because I think I would feel very differently about it. When I was doing my quarantine, when I was sick a couple months ago, I watched all of the movies, all 5 of them, and I was like, oh my god, these are so bad, but because they're so nostalgic for me, I still love them, if that makes sense. So I would want to rewatch those now. What dog breed is Maya? Maya is a Shih Tzu. I don't know if you can see. That's her butt right there. Oh, right there. She's sleeping. That's her. I think that's her tail. She's being very good. She's very quiet today. What are your personal views on games like Legend of Zelda, Animal Crossing, etc., etc.? Do you play them? Not really. The only game I play is like Sims, which you guys know because I've made a couple of Sims videos, and even that I haven't played in months. But no, I've never really been into games very much. Favorite food? Anything Italian, pasta, baked ziti, manicotti. Oh my god, just anything that's like pasta and super saucy and super cheesy. I'm so hungry right now, so this conversation isn't helping. But yeah, probably something super carby and cheesy. The most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you? I feel like there's been quite a few, if I'm being honest. Probably something at work. Like when I first started, I used to make really bad, stupid mistakes because I, again, had no idea what I was doing when I first started. And one day, the worst one I could think of is I put our traffic reporter up on the green screen on TV, like with no graphics behind her, so all you saw was like the green wall. And I didn't know how to fix it, so I kind of just left her up there for like a good 15-20 seconds, which on TV, that's a long time. And poor thing, she didn't know what to do either, because I think it was her like second week. And she was like, oh, I think we're having some like technical difficulties, and she was like trying to toss it back to the anchors, and it was just bad. It was really bad. Yeah, that's still really embarrassing for me. Do you work out? Yeah, so I kind of answered that already. Traveling, I kind of answered that. Alright, the next one I am going to briefly touch on, because I don't like to, I'm very bad at expressing my thoughts, and I tend to say things and they come out not the way that I meant it. That happens a lot, even like in my normal life, and I don't want to offend anybody. But the next question says, what do you think about religion and the LGBTQ community? Also, what is your opinion on why innocent people suffer if God is all loving? The second question, that is a question that people ask a lot. Why do bad things happen if God is all loving and wants people to succeed, you know, because that's what the Bible says. But then people say, well, why do people die? Why do we have wars? Why do we have all these things? And honestly, it's a very good question. I'm gonna answer it really briefly, and then we'll get on. My answer to that would be, yes, God is all loving, but when he created us, he gave us free will. And the main reason he gave us free will is because he loves us so much, but he wants us to choose to love him. So he gave us that free will because he wants us to do it on our own. With that free will comes imperfections, comes selfishness, comes evil, comes and anything else bad, jealousy, I don't know. You know, all these imperfect things come with free will. So People say, well, everything comes from God, so war comes from God. No, war comes from people that created war because of their free will. Am I making sense? That probably doesn't make sense. So that's why I would say all this hate is happening in the world because of we're human and we were made imperfect. None of us are perfect. So it doesn't come from God. God loves. We can't even fathom how much God loves every single person. And, the biggest commandment in the Bible, honestly, is to love others the way that God loves us. And so my job as a child of God in this world is to love everyone the way he loves me. And that's it. So I love everybody. And that's it. I hope that answered my question, and I hope I didn't say anything stupid, because I tend to do that, and I don't mean to. It just comes out weird. So I hope I answered that right. Let's see. What did I eat for breakfast? I had 2 hard-boiled eggs. I should have eaten more, but that's kind of, when I tell you I have no food, that's why I have to go grocery shopping. My favorite childhood memory, probably family vacations and stuff. We used to go to a timeshare in Virginia once or twice a year with all my cousins when we were really little, and we would have a little hot tub in our little complex, and there was an indoor and outdoor pool, and it was so much fun. We would play games. There was no real back then there was no really TV or cable in the room, so we were forced to hang out with each other. It was cool. How much time do you like to invest in a true crime video? And when researching the case, do you have to be in a certain mood and be undisturbed by family? Yeah, I can't be distracted by anything when I'm doing my research. Just me personally, I can't focus. So I'll do it either really late at night or like I said, if I'm on break at work or something and I'm alone. I can do research anywhere from an hour or 2. Editing usually will take an hour because I like to insert pictures and stuff, so that gives you a good idea. What movie was so sad that you'll never watch it again? Marley and Me. Have you ever watched Marley and Me? It'll destroy you. Let me see. Do you consider yourself an ASMR veteran? What advice would you give to the newbies? I honestly have no. I've never considered myself to be a veteran or an OG because I don't think that I am. But what advice I would give to the newbies would be just to make videos that you like to watch. That's what I try to do, and that's why I think it makes it so enjoyable for me to make videos, just because I make videos that I like to watch myself. And my advice would also be, you don't need a fancy camera or a fancy microphone. That can come later, but when you're starting, you really don't need much. You just need something that takes videos, and you need internet access. That's it. What are characteristics that you look for in a guy? Alright, so physically, I try not to have check marks, he has to have blue eyes, and he has to have brown hair, and he has to have freckles, and it's not Build-A-Bear, I try not to do that. The only thing physically is I do prefer him to be taller than me. Just a personal thing. I dated someone once who was an inch taller than me, and I don't know, maybe it's because I was younger, maybe I wouldn't care too much now, but I didn't like wearing heels, I don't know, I felt kind of uncomfortable. But as far as character wise, I would need someone who shares my idea of faith, and that's not saying that men who aren't Christian are bad people, not what I'm saying at all, but later down the line, we have a family, right, and we have kids. I'm gonna want to bring my kids to church. Someone who's not a Christian may have a problem with that, and then what do? You know what I mean? So it's just, seem to find lately. At least that's what I'm finding now in the dating world. So confidence, but in a good way. Someone who has like a similar sense of humor as me. Family oriented is a big one because I'm with my family all the time. Yeah, and someone that I could just be myself around, you know. What have I been doing in quarantine? Well, I've said this before, I've never like fully been in quarantine. Like I never stopped going to work, minus the 2 weeks that I was sick. I've still been going to work. I'm deemed essential. And guys, I'm like paper white right now. Bear with me for a second. I'm gonna try to adjust this a little bit. I think that helped a little bit. Yeah, so I've still been going to work, but when I'm home, I work out, I edit videos, I cook, and then just do things I need to do, laundry, etc., and watch Netflix. What are the essentials to starting a YouTube channel, equipment-wise? Well, like I said before, you just need like a phone or an iPad or something that takes videos and internet access. That's really it. You really, I promise you, do not need anything fancy. Okay, the next one got by far the most likes in comparison to any other question here, and someone even commented, I wonder if she'll answer this. I'm gonna answer it. I really don't mind like talking about things. Okay, it says thoughts on sex before marriage, and then it says in parentheses, purely curious because I know you are a Christian and I'm interested to know your thoughts on it. It's a valid question. I'm gonna put my phone down for this one because I feel like this is gonna take me a couple minutes to explain. So please keep in mind when I answer this question, I am not coming at you as like a holier than thou thing. I hate that, and that's why I don't really talk about religion too much anymore, because it just comes across as so preachy and like I know better than you, so you need to listen to me, and like I never want to come across that way. I don't like that, and that's what turns people off. So keep that in mind, and also keep in mind I'm not perfect, so there are things that I have done that I wish I could take back. We'll just say that. Nothing like crazy, but you know, there are things I wish I could take back, but you know, so keep all that in mind when I say this. And this is actually something that I like just kind of, not that I just learned, but I just recently reflected on. I was randomly going around YouTube, and there was this girl, her name is like starts with a K. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce what it is. I don't watch her, I'm not subscribed to her, but I randomly clicked on her video, and it was titled, I stopped having sex and this is what happened. And I purely clicked on it because I was like, what is this about? She's a Christian, and she was talking about like this topic, and she listed a bunch, like these 4 videos by this preacher named Andy Stanley, who now I love him. He's on YouTube and stuff, and she linked a 4-part series called The New Rules of Sex, Love, and Dating, and I watched all 4. I listened to all 4. I actually listened to them in the car as I was driving to and from work, and they're each like 40 minutes long. I'll link them if you want to watch them. But it's just amazing that I was like just casually going around YouTube and found this, and it just completely like solidified my thoughts on this. So I learned this at a very young age, but again, as you're growing up, and you know, you're going out with friends and you go through the college scene and whatever, it's possible to start to lose everything that you've learned. So this wasn't new information to me, but it's more kind of like, I guess, brought it home for me in a way. So I'm a Christian, right? So I believe that everything that the Bible says is true. And the Bible says that basically when you have sex with someone, you are giving a part of yourself to them. And sex is like anything sexual, really. I'm not saying like kissing, that's not what I'm saying. But like, you know what I mean? Like sexual. you're giving a piece of yourself to that person. And so what happens is you have sex with this person, you give a little bit of yourself to them, doesn't work out. You sleep with this person, you give another piece of yourself to them, it doesn't work out, and you keep giving pieces and pieces and pieces away to these people. And then when it comes time to, when you meet your future spouse, you don't have much left to give them. I know it sounds crazy, but when you really think about it and you really have a long conversation about this, it really starts to make sense. And so again, I'm not perfect. I'm not sitting here like I'm a saint, because I'm not at all. But now I am so committed to the idea of giving my future husband as much of me as I possibly can, because it's like a gift, right? And I'm assuming that my future husband, I am gonna love more than most people in the world, right? Because that's the way it should be. And so because I'm gonna love him so much, I want to be able to give him the best gift, the best gift possible, which is as much of me as possible. I don't necessarily believe in the whole practice makes perfect. You gotta have sex with as many people as possible. You'll figure it out. You know what I mean? I don't really believe in that very much. But it's a personal choice. I do believe that what the Bible says is true, and everything that I just said, I do believe it's true. I really do. That being said, I don't necessarily believe you had sex before marriage, that's it, you're going to hell, nothing you can do is gonna save you. I don't necessarily believe that, because again, I'm getting very preachy. See, this is what I didn't want, but the Bible also says that there's nothing that you can do that God won't forgive you for. That being said, you can't just be like, I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna ask God for forgiveness later and it's all gonna be good, because that's not good either. Yeah, just be smart and just think about now, I just think about my future spouse. I have no idea who he is, where he's coming from, when he's coming from, or when he's coming. I have no idea. But now I'm I just want to give him as much of me as possible. I just got really uncomfortable, so I'm just gonna, I don't know why, it just hit me what I was talking about, and now I got uncomfortable. So I hope that was enough. And yeah, that's another thing that could be a whole other video. Okay, I'm gonna just answer a few more because this is getting pretty long. What are your favorite healthy snacks? Apple slices with peanut butter, a rice cake with peanut butter and banana on top. Anything from Healthy Choice. They have these granola bars and granola balls. I've showed you in my what I eat in a week video. And then just any fruit. Pineapple is my favorite fruit, or strawberries or blueberries. Yeah. Top bucket list destination between Iceland and Italy. Okay, I'll end with this one, I think. What's your current opinion on the ASMR community right now? What would be your ideal community? I think we have one of the best communities on YouTube. I really do. Everyone, for the most part, is very supportive of each other. No one tears each other down. Again, for the most part, I'd say 99% of people are really, really nice and supportive. I do think there's so many people making ASMR videos right now. So many people. And I think it's great. I think it allows people to bounce ideas off of each other and, take inspiration from each other. And I do think, like anything, there may be one or two that, try to make ASMR into something that most of us wish people would not think it is. But again, there's a few that I don't want to say ruin it because it doesn't ruin it, but that there are a few that you would wish they would do a little less. I'm not thinking of anyone in specific. I'm really not. But every once in a while, I'll be looking through YouTube and I'll see boobs, like like cleavage, like that's like the main focus of the thumbnail, and I'm like, again, I'm not thinking of anyone in particular, or no one's name comes to mind, but that's nothing new in the ASMR community, and people just think it's sexual because of what it is, the whispering and whatever. But for the most part, I think we have really like the best ASMR community. I mean, the best YouTube community on YouTube. And I'm very thankful that I started making videos 5.5 years ago. I really am. So, I hope that I answered your questions as best as I could. I think I did. I'm sorry I didn't get to all of them. Like I said, I knew I wouldn't necessarily be able to get to all of them. But that's awesome that I have enough questions to be able to say that. So thank you guys for sending me all of your questions, and I hope you got to get to know me a little bit better. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it to the end, you're a real one. And I'll see you next time.